ancestors invented the wheel. Back then, this revolving device was amazing tech. Today, Toastmaster Eric Muehling will share his 21st century favorite tech. Please help me welcome fellow nerd Eric Muehling.
You are muted, sir.
Thank you, Grand Nerdmaster. And can you see my screen, a PowerPoint? Anyone, can you see my screen?
Forsooth.
Forsooth. 3 million years ago, our ancestors used sharpened stones to crush bones. The wheel made transportation of heavy stuff easier. At that time, I'm sure this was considered wondrous technology. Here's my favorite nephew named David and his pregnant wife, Jordan, who's due in January. David and I had a discussion about tech. I told him my father, his grandfather, lived through the invention of the automobile, jet aviation, and the nuclear bomb. Then I told David that I lived through the space age and the invention of the internet. After that, David dropped his gaze, looked down at his feet, and sadly said, "All I got is Facebook." Nerds young and old, here's my favorite tech. This is must-have tech for the techie geek. This tiny device measures voltage from a USB port. On my laptop, the voltage port measures 4.05 volts. It also measures amperage, which is the strength of the electric current. Why does this matter, you might ask? Recently, I set up a Zoom room and plugged in 2 external USB devices into my laptop, a microphone and a camera. It didn't work. The trusty little amp meter confirmed amperage overload. And by the way, so that the gramificator doesn't ding me for using unexplained acronyms, USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. The sun, moon, and stars appear to move because Earth rotates once every 24 hours. This little star tracker rests on a tripod pointing at the North Star. A motor rotates the tracker at the rate of Earth's rotation. And this makes high-quality photos of the Milky Way galaxy possible. For this video, I pointed the star tracker directly at the sun. The sun stayed centered on the video. This produced a 24-hour time-lapse movie of the summer solstice in Fairbanks, Alaska. Note to self, do not do this again with an expensive camera. The 24-hour exposure burned a hole in my camera's sensor. This special camera records the infrared spectrum that our eyes can't see. It connects to my iPhone. It works day or night. The camera shows the temperature of objects in the screen. The house on the left has 12-inch thick walls. The thermal camera shows this super insulated house has a barrier that works in Fairbanks, Alaska. I built that house in 1982, by the way. On the right side is my cat, Marco Polo. I didn't realize he could look even more evil in thermal. This tech needs a little explaining. TP-Link stands for Twisted Pair Link, something invented by Alexander Graham Bell. Gigabit Ethernet is a transmission technology used in fast local area networks known as LANs. I only mention that for the gramificator. Here's a summary. PoE means power over Ethernet. This little black box amplifies power into an Ethernet cable that's part of a LAN using gigabit speed over TP-Link of twisted cables. So why, you ask, do I have such tech? This little black box let me extend 200 feet of Ethernet cable to a remote security camera. The camera needed power over the internet, over the Ethernet cable to work. I've camped on Alaskan glaciers and hiked where there are no trails at all. This device uses global positioning satellites, GPS, to find its exact location. It's accurate to within a few feet. If injured, the device can send a message to a satellite and relay my location. And I frequently use it to simply let my family know I'm okay and that I've arrived at my cabin or that I got back to the road. Over 30 years ago, I found a USGS, that stands for U.S. Geological Survey marker deep in the woods near where I hoped to build a remote cabin in Alaska. Finding a USGS marker was important because a surveyor that I hired back then needed existing USGS markers to tie into my property. Note, GPS didn't exist at that time. Now, over the past 30 years, vegetation covered up the GPS survey marker and my property corners. Last summer, the Garmin GPS helped me relocate the GPS survey marker and my property corners. Honorable mention. This pencil-sized magnetic pole tester provides an instant magnetic pole indication. Green indicates north pole, red indicates the south pole. Why, you ask, do I have such a device? Well, I'll tell you. A few years ago, I built an electric wind generator from scratch. Online, I ordered super strong neodymium magnets, wire, and this magnetic pole tester. It is essential to know the north and south ends of a magnet before assembly. Well, here's Marco Polo, the explorer again. He figured out how to get the refrigerator door open. Bungee cords keep him out now, and you also keep them out of the kitchen cabinets. And I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to hold up a handful of these objects. These are really cool stuff for me. And with that, I ask the question, what is your favorite tech? Back to you, Grand Nerdmaster.
Game over.